When you, and just as you would begin to do, as you begin to heal, okay, which is really what I'm doing, isn't it?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And as the film progresses, all right, I begin to experience your healing. Do you see? Do you see that? See. Good morning. We're you say good morning.
Good morning.
It's Saturday morning, and we're going to make a first and final attempt to explain what it is that we accomplish. Yesterday we spoke of a decision on your part to release yourself from the bondage of your own structured mind. And we are pointing out to you now through my facility the certainty that the structure of yourself as identified as a body was holding you in the bondage of a temporal space-time continuum that is simply not true. Shall I do that again? You out there, you right there, you here. I'm not offering you a solution to the problem of your sickness or your disease, okay, or the defenses that you set up within this little intolerance for reality that prevent you from seeing instantly, all right, that you are whole and perfect and eternal. This is a healing device that I am employing. What am I using to heal? What am I using? Say mind.
Mind.
I'm using my mind to heal. Out there? I am using my mind to heal because reality is mind. You see? The associations of the identity that I have given myself are very simply preventing me from having an experience of my reality and the reality of the love of God. There is a healing procedure going on now, if you will let it. We're going to be all right. The surprising thing is, as you share whatever disruptions appear to be the perceptual mind, your willingness to not defend yourself within your own aggregation of thought is literally what healing is. Who sees that? The lesson 132 says, I released the world from everything that I thought it was. Okay? But when you get to the real healing lessons, which we may get a little bit to today, for those of you who wonder what this is a Course in Miracles procedure that gives you a guarantee that contained within your conceptual ideas about yourself is the entire solution to the problem that you're experiencing, not based on what you think the problem or solution are at all. All right. Now, it's very difficult for me to present that to you without using sentences like Jesus would use. Say, I am not a body.
I am not a body.
Your resistance to the idea that you are not a body is very intense. Why? Say, because I am a body.
Because I am a body.
Well, yeah. Don't tell me I'm not a body. I ought to know who I am. I've got this. I have this. You see that? And I intend to assert within my mind, obviously, somewhere I know it's an application of my mind, the defense of my apparent spatial reference within space-time. Isn't that what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Isn't that what you're doing? All right. Why am I offering myself a solution based on my body identity? Because I believe that I am a body identity.
Yes.
No, I am then at that moment in time trapped in the defense of my self-identity, which is manifesting itself as a body. Am I a body? Yeah, I seem to be a body. I've got nose, I got hair, I got a nose. So everything that I am doing justifies the particle association of my mind and prevents me from seeing that, first of all, the act is being performed by my mind. Do you see that? Why? Because the moment that I defended my self-identity, I had to be attacked by something.
Yes. Yes.
Isn't that so?
Yes.
I had to be attacked by something because I am in a mode of defense.
Yes.
Attack, defend, attack, defend. This becomes the nature of my reality based on the conceptual identity that I've given myself. Is that so?
Yes.
So everyone in all the universe, in all the world, you are individually in your own mind a defense against the truth. Okay? In a particular sense, you are defense against everything because you've enclosed yourself in your own identity and justified the nature of what you think you are. That's sort of our instructions for today, because what I was going to attempt to do in A Course in Miracles was to show you that we are of one mind. As a healer, I have experienced the wholeness of my association in this aggregation of energy or light that you call space-time. Those of you who haven't yet procured a copy of the Course in Miracles, will you please do so? You'll find one somewhere. If you can't find them in the bookstores, we'll send you one free. We want you to look at the magnitude of what's being offered you individually in your own mind in regard to this. So we have proceeded to a position in time where many of you are beginning to have the experience of the totality of your relationship with God, with universal mind. Raise your hand if this has happened to you. See? Now, when that begins to go, you begin to extend from yourself, okay, the light of the totality of the power of mind, which heals. Everyone that you meet in an enclosed association of body is in a literal sense protecting his identity body from the healing grace of God that you are offering them. I want to keep this real simple. I know you've already complicated it in your own mind. Yet to do that, you would deny, and I brought the Miracles Healing Handbook. You out there, we've distributed hundreds of thousands, and there's going to be another 10 million going out. We received another directive from the Foundation for Inner Peace, who is the copywriter of the course, that we destroy our Miracles Healing Handbook. We don't intend to. The problem, those of you who don't know the problem, obviously we maintain that Jesus Christ is the author of the course. And there's apparently a difficulty in copywriting it if it's in fact Jesus, although it doesn't concern us at all. All we want to do is give it away.
Right.
They're trying to prevent us from giving out the Miracles Healing Handbook. They have decided that the author of the course is unknown. By that, they hope to protect their copyright. Perhaps they'll succeed, but obviously it's not going to prevent us from associating with the entirety of the certainty that our Savior is here and giving us that freedom. Obviously, the author of the course is unknown to them because everything is unknown to them. But to protect the unknowing of the author of the course in order to retain possession of the meaninglessness of their mind, I didn't mean to do that, but I got to laughing about it this morning. Part of their protective devices is simply say the author is unknown. Of course, I am facilitating and using right now. What I am doing is using, say, Christ mind. Let me get a breath there. I'm up a little early this morning. How do I look, man? I'm using Christ mind. Can you see that? Why am I using Christ mind? That's all there is. Okay. All Jesus really says in the New Testament, I'm going to stand instead of you for a moment to show you your own reality. When you assume that garb with me of the new factor of eternal relationships with God, you will represent to yourself and the aggregation of your thought forms the entirety of what you are. Is that so? We dared to connect at the beginning of the Miracles Healing Handbook, we actually dared to connect the historic Jesus of the New Testament with A Course in Miracles, because no one, even coming into their right mind, would not see immediately that the teachings of the Course in Miracles are exactly what the teachings of Jesus Christ are in the New Testament. That being said, if you open it, it will say, and I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loose in heaven. Any questions? I took care of it. That's all I had to tell you that he said. But it would be important that you remember that the teachings of any whole mind, and we'll use Jesus, must be that if there is conflict and doubt, the cause and the conflict and doubt must be in you. We call this Sermon on the Mount, isn't it? So we are somewhere, and we digress just for a moment, because those of you who are listening to this within the confines of your own body present, which is what you're doing, you believe then that life will be a defense of this association. Is that so?
Yes.
Yes. What I'm offering you now, and will for perhaps this interlude of time, is an offering of light that will collapse the parameters of your defense of dark form matter. I don't know if I can see if I can teach it this way. When I look at a human association, I'll speak from how I heal. This is how I heal. I see that they are in dark form identity. Well, I'll try that again. They are defining themselves, okay, as sick. Obviously, the sickness pertains to the body association, not to what I know they really are, or to the power I know that they are employing in order to retain the sickness. Can you see this? Generally speaking, and we're at the healing center. We have a lot of healing going on now. And one of our early lessons was that you are in a condition of revenge. You are in a condition of anger against God. Your body function then is to protect itself, okay, through sickness, which is anger taken out on the body. Once more, don't tell me there's a God. I can prove there is not by becoming sick. I will defend myself in my body so that I will be attacked by associations that are contained within my own mind You want to see how ridiculous this is, you there? And therefore will defend the littleness that I associate in my own mind with what I think I am in this little place. All I've really, you're going to listen to this. Okay, if you begin to have this experience, why don't you take a chance on love? Why don't you begin to simply release the intensity of the defense of yourself within your body form? Will it work? Of course it'll work. Is that a real happening? Huh? Is all power given to your mind? Huh? Is your healing simultaneous with the release of the defense of your own mind?
Yes.
Can you hear that?
Yes.
If I could do these lessons for you, they're fun lessons. 135. Okay, we'll go to 135. If I defend myself, I am attacked. Okay, sickness is a defense against the truth. And when I am healed, I am not healed alone. Since I am the cause of the sickness, once more, since I am the cause of the sickness of you by my body identity, when I am healed, the function of my body association will be to be a light factor of the conversion of the specialization of the cellular relationship of your body form. Oh, poop. We'll cancel this video. We won't send this one out. See, to my mind, this is really all this is going to say is that you're only lasted here for a second anyway. We got that pretty much. Time lasted but a minute in your own mind in that space, and you were gone. Any retention of time will be a determination on your part to justify the body identity and to specialize in separation. Okay? Your individual bodies are specializations in separation. In order to perform it, you divide your body hereditarily into billions of parts that specialize in retaining your aggregate separation. Wow. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Who could hear that?
Yes.
This is in lesson 136. It says that each thought that you have becomes a specialty at associating with other thoughts, okay, in order to justify the continued fragmentation of your body. Who heard it?
Yes.
You're like the jigsaw man.
Yes.
You're put together in millions of pieces. Since you believe, some healers believe that the body is made up of parts of the body. That's silly. That's absolutely nonsense. Now everybody is under the control of the parts of the body. So they proceed to operate on particular elements of the body using their minds, which justify their body association. I don't know if this is that. The more you specialize, finally you end up working on nothing but, say, I'm a proctologist. The guy is an expert. Well, I know, but you smile at that. But obviously, the more knowledge you gain about separation of your mind, the more specialization will be required. Just as you set up these giant computers that contained all sorts of fragmented evidence of thought form contained within the aggregation of separate associations that form clouds of energy that literally prevent you from seeing anything. Because they are designed, okay, to justify the separation of your body procedure. Maybe I'll get to read this lesson. This is what lesson 135 in A Course in Miracles and 136 say. It will proceed to say the body will take perfect care of itself because the mind that is what's causing the body to be sick, and you're into all sorts of science of the mind, and I don't want to do that with you today. What I'd like you to see today, if you would with me, first of all, is the temporalness of your body association. That is, you're perfectly well that you apparently have cells that are being born, cells are dying, they've been replaced by other cells. They're a justification for the continuation of the separation in your mind. The problem is not that. The problem is you identify them thus.
Yes.
And by giving them the attribute or quality of temporal time association, you became a human being.
Yes.
Do you see?
Yes.
A tiger, for example, who has the same principle of tigership as you have as a human, does not set up relationships of his tiger mind with himself in order to repair his tail or his claw. He just doesn't do it. Do you see that? That's the 3% of that you are different genetically in your own association. What I want you to see is with that intercession into the evolutionary process of despecialization, or the combination of the forms from the potential, which is being converted, you are at the human being status.
Yes.
Your mind is split.
Yes.
You have a human identity, okay, that must be somewhere in consort with the identity of universal mind. And that lasted but for a moment. Okay? We seem to have the philosophy, psychology. If I defend myself, I will be attacked by my thought forms. There is no alternative to this. The problem I have is the nature of my existence is a form of defense. All right? Everything that I see, okay, is a habit of defense. Remember, we tried to do this yesterday. So that if I turn and look at you, I see myself as a reflection of the body in which I am maintaining my identity.
Yes.
Could you hear this?
Yes.
Okay. What you have learned to do in the elucidation of the light of your mind is just for a moment, okay, reverse the temporal order of your association with yourself in the universe.
Yes.
So you don't let your reflections justify your body identity and therefore defend yourself from what you have projected out from you as a part of your relationship with cause and effect or with separation. I keep explaining it. And the reason I'm explaining it is because when my mind expresses it, all right, it becomes a factor of reasonableness. To me, healing is very reasonable since sickness is impossible. But if sickness is impossible, it must be based on my certainty that the body is impossible.
Yes.
That is the illusion of the associations of the form that have allowed me to view an apparent particle wave association with the energies of universal mind are not true. I know that doesn't do you any good out there watching this. But what I'm going to try to do now is express to you my own certainty, which is yours. Okay? Can you see that? And we'll do it with that little music that you were playing. Okay. In a particular way, I am training you to remember. Okay. In the course, this is called a quick forgetting. I'm not going to do it now, but I may do the lesson. But this is a lesson 135
Yes.
or 136. You quickly forget what you know totally. You see? It comes to you, you look to justify it, and you forget what you were looking for. Can you see this? It actually says in 135, it's a quick forgetting. Okay, say amnesia. Yeah, it would have to be. Each moment you suffer from amnesia or the entirety of who you are based on a continuing reflection. You literally forget it. Those of you who have progressed with this will have these illuminant experiences and go, oh my goodness, I can remember everything. Suddenly you're back and you go, no, that's not it. That's what I want you to do. Can you see that?
Yes.
I want you to say to me, no, that's not it. Can you get it?
Yes.
No, I'm not. That's how I heal. I look at you as a body and I say, come on, that's not it. How do you heal? You look at the guy and say, don't be ridiculous. Whatever you think you are is not true. It has nothing to do with your sickness. It has to do with your identity of your own mind, which has been fostered onto your body in order to retain the apparent reality of the body form. If I defend myself, I am attacked. I can never escape that. Never. Because I am a form of defense, right, in my own mind against what must be attacking me. Wow, what an amazing idea. I defend myself from the collapse of universal thought form, which you would call energy, into an association of potential light form, which immediately is returning. And as I return to light, I feel the pressure, of my fleeing, my collapse into time. It's gravity. This is what gravity is. So that there's a levitation procedure possible for me in the release momentarily of that defense. And that will work perfectly like that. You're putting your arms up and blocking the camera. Raise your arm. Go ahead. See what happened? That wasn't a plea to heaven. That was a realization of the insertion of the light of heaven. Now, it may have begun with God help me. But the God help me that responds with the entirety of the light is a request for the totality of help rather than the specificness of what you ask for. Can you see that?
Yes.
Every physician who ever performed an operation says, God help me. Everything that you do in the nature of the faith that you place in your fragmented association, you are requesting help. You cannot not be, because you're utilizing the faith or power in the specialization of yourself as a proctologist, for example, to perform a ritual of the removing of the difference in tissue structure that are causing the obstruction to the elimination of the inherent crap of the body identity. One of my best friends is a proctologist. Does everybody understand that? You live by faith. You, as a human, come on, you go to school to learn particular procedures on which you can put your consequential faith in and become a technician, using the power of your own mind based on your old references. The old references are called laws of, remember yesterday? They're called laws of medicine, laws of politics, laws of friendship. All the laws that you do are based on memory aggregations of thought form that you use in a habit structure, or an addictive structure is what I call it. You're addicted to that association of the cause and effect and depend on the faith of your mind to remedy what is already sickness in your own mind. Until I can get you to release that defense, there's no hope for you. Obviously, it begins with you're the cause of it. If you are indeed the cause of this, the remedy will be very simple. You'll simply make a decision, that this offers you through the admission that your sickness is a decision. It's a defense against who you really are. And if you continue to employ it, you will get the result of your own mind. I will help you if you want me to, since our minds are joined. Say, minds are joined.
Minds are joined.
It's impossible our minds not be joined because there is only one mind. You can protect yourself from, say, greater joining. Of course, in miracles, Jesus calls that a greater joining. You attempt to join with aggregations of your limited association. You're successful in the formulation of what you call idea form that join together in order to receive a thinking consequence of your own mind. Could you see that?
Yes.
All thinking process is a form of mind joining, a bit limited by the separate form associations. Do you see that? If you formulate in your own mind the idea of a remedy for sickness, it will address the specific sickness and the specific remedy, and will always be concerned with the body. It cannot not be, because any specificness in regard to any association of cause and effect would be what the body is,
Yes.
or an aggregation without causation. Quite literally, not coming from the totality of a creative source, but rather allowing each association to be its own separate creative identity based on the potential that will be used up within the form. Can you hear that?
Yes.
So that the forms of ideas that you have in your mind come together. This is the teaching of the human condition, and result in another idea based on the formulation of that association. What's the problem? Nothing, except it sustains a false identity. Okay, reality or creative mind, the mind of God, does not formulate in separate form. It cannot not do so, because all of it is finally the same substance of life.
Yes.
Somewhere you must believe in the separation or an idea that there are separate forms of life. That's not true. Life is life, and it is eternal. The collapse of the formulation of the thought forms will heal you instantly, since your sickness is a retention of ideas of cause and effect, or limited healing, okay, or what you call sickness and remedy identity. It would be impossible for you to have an idea of sickness without an idea of remedy. Okay, except death, and that's impossible. I am teaching you that there is no remedy to your sickness, so you will die, because you are actually in a condition of being dead already. You are defending death or separation in your own mind. Is that so?
Yes.
Yeah. You defend that, and you then will be attacked in order to justify the death notation within your own mind. So I'm looking there at you for a minute. Now, I'm expressing to you the need for you to lay the judgment, the barrier of your self-identity down for a moment in order to what? Say, be healed.
Be healed.
Yeah. Yeah. See, we don't distinguish in the Miracles Healing Center degrees of sickness. When you are sick, you are in that association with your body and will continue to justify getting old and dying. The relief that I am offering you is the entirety of the discovery of the wellness of love.
Yes.
That is, the nature of the human condition in defense is to obviously rage, isn't it?
Yes.
And to protect itself. This is what you've been doing. And to justify that protection by being attacked in your own mind. I'm doing lesson 135 here. Maybe I'll try to read it a little bit. So now I looked at you there, and just for a moment, perhaps you let a little light come in, not to the body, but to the mind that has defended itself within its own structure in order to maintain the body and to justify it. What happened at that moment is you changed your mind and you were healed. The practice of healing involves the simple admission that that procedure is going on simultaneously in your mind right now. Healers, it's impossible that you're not healing your mind each moment because you're defining yourself as sick. The problem is that your definition of yourself that retains the separation is healed by a remedy that justifies the continuation of the separation of your mind.
Yes.
I know you know this. So we're going to try that now. Shall we try some healing? All right. Now, it might be there's an advantage to your idea that this is a procedure that can go on. The reason that that is true is because healing, to be real, must include the reasonableness of the application of my mind in association with yours. Otherwise, it becomes a placebo. Otherwise, it simply becomes something that can't be found in your own mind, which is the protective devices of specialization that say, I don't know how you were healed, but you weren't healed by any medical device. You see, I am not teaching you a perceptual variation or an alternative healing procedure. That's not what I do. I am informing you that the release of that association of your mind will bring you to healing instantly because you are already healed and perfect as God created you. Okay, that is to say, wholeness and wellness and perfection is not an alternative. Okay, the alternatives that you are exercising now are sickness remedy, neither of which have anything to do with what I'm offering you. Because if you protect your sickness by a remedy, you will impose a defense against the simple offering of my mind to you. Have you raised your hand if you heard that? Okay, I don't know if you heard that out there. And please don't tell me that's Mary Baker Eddy. Or someone else. Or this, or I mean, you're going to say, oh, all he's saying is the same as the Zen master said. That is precisely and exactly what Mary Baker Eddy taught. I don't know. I don't care. Go and look it up. It's science of the mind. The mind heals and the body doesn't exist, is what she said.
Yes.
Exactly. What does Jesus say? The mind heals and the body doesn't exist. I prove to you the body doesn't exist. Okay, by the resurrection or the conversion of my cellular relationship. 135, the lesson I was going to do, is probably the longest lesson in the Course in Miracles. Say to me, it's the Easter lesson. Yeah, 135 is the Easter lesson. That simply says when Jesus was crucified, he didn't defend himself. He sprang into heaven and you became what you had crucified. Can you hear that? Come on. This is his whole idea. You're being attacked or crucified by everyone that's around you. If you don't defend yourself, you're gone from here. That actually says that in this lesson. It says this is your Easter time. Stop defending yourself in order to feel the grievance of being crucified by your brother and protecting yourself in your own identity. It's just not true. If I defend myself, I am attacked. And sickness is a defense against the truth. And when I am healed, I am not healed alone because I am the cause of the sickness. Generally, at this point, we review the principles of miracles, don't we? Where Jesus said we're going to do just 3 of them to remind you. It's the Miracles Healing Handbook. At the very beginning of the text of A Course in Miracles, it sets out the principles of what miracles are. This has been totally rejected by the world. There's no acceptance of the principles of the miracles at all. I don't care. I want you to accept the principles of them. Because when Jesus speaks to you directly in A Course in Miracles, he says this, I inspire all miracles, which are really intercessions. When your mind becomes whole, you will say, I inspire all miracles because I am interceding between your conceptual associations with yourself. Miracles are intercessions between the protective devices of the separation of cause and effect in your own mind. Is this Jesus speaking?
Yes.
Or is this some unknown guy? Foundation? This is some unknown guy, after all. Why don't you stand up and say, no, it's me that's a healer? What Jesus wants you to do is stand up. Does he say, follow me or not?
Yes.
Doesn't he say, come on and follow me and be a healer? You know, throw your nets down. Never mind fishing out of the boats. Let's be fishermen of men. Let's, huh?
Right.
Okay, what's that going to have to be? A spiritual conversion of our minds in the discovery of shared brotherhood. So we used to meet under the sign of the fish, didn't we? One of our most ancient Christian associations. Well, just for a second. They intercede. I am that. They intercede for your holiness and make your perceptions holy. By placing you beyond the physical laws, they raise you into the sphere of celestial order. In this order, you are perfect. Come on. There isn't any question that I'm offering you a reordering of your mind. Okay. How can you keep reordering your mind? By not defending your association of order, it is immediately reordered in the sphere of perfection. Tell me, did you hear that at all?
Yes.
Now, if you attempt to retain the order of your own mind, it will not be in the celestial sphere, but in the thought form sphere of the aggregation of limitation expressed within the form. Could you get that?
Yes.
Did you hear that?
Yes.
That's in this little book. In fact, that's number 1 or one of the first ones, right? A miracle, a new association of yourself, is a correction introduced into false thinking by me. It acts as a catalyst, breaking up erroneous perception and reorganizing it properly. This places you under the at-one-ment principle where perception is healed. Until this has occurred, knowledge of the divine order is literally impossible. So you out there, whatever you're doing in your organizational procedure is only going to justify this limitation. Let's look for a moment whether it's possible for you to allow a reorganization of your conceptual identity, which is going on all the time anyway. The only problem you have with reorganization is that you have set terms for what you want that reorganization to be. Can you see that?
Yes.
You have set goals within the limited parameter of your own conceptual identity, haven't you? And made plans for the future based on your own order. That's why you die.
Yes. Yes.
Do you see that? Because your order finally simply collapses. Huh? You have nothing to draw on coming from the catalyst that I am offering you. Remember yesterday? I tried to show you that a catalyst is a complete bundle of the Christ, isn't it? We used to call it the pearl worth any price, that is actually in you. That begins to spread and your mind changes in the bright facilitation of the realization of you. That's true healing. So suddenly you're well and you say, gee, I had cancer and now I'm healed. Okay, was it the cancer that was healed? Don't be crazy. The cancer was your defense against the truth.
Yes.
Just for a moment, you admitted you were wrong about it, and you were immediately healed through the grace of God and the love of that. I've got to get off of the principles. There's 2 more that you need to hear. So what have we discovered? Christ's mind, Jesus' mind, is an immediate, constant intercession between the conflict of the separation of your cause and effect. Where 2 or more are gathered, I am there. I'm acting as an intercession, okay, to eliminate the necessity of the conflict that you're feeling. I'm arbitrating between you without taking sides. Could you hear that?
Yes.
I will heal you by not taking sides concerning your remedy and your disease. Right now, I'm going to heal. I'm not going to take any side, okay? I'm just going to show you the reality, okay? Remember in the visions of Helen Schuckman, when Jesus tries to get Helen to see what he is going to do, he shows her the book of life in a vision and says, don't look at that side. Don't look at that side. Look here with me.
Yes.
It's she has some lovely visions. I didn't mean to do that, but that's a true thing. That you are healed by the binding of reality, that is not associated with either side in the separation.
Yes.
Isn't that a nice thing to know? The book of life. Well, so this is what that intercession would be. Listen to one more. Okay. Miracles honor you because you're lovable. They dispel illusions about yourself and perceive the light in you. They thus atone for your errors by freeing you from your own nightmares, and by releasing your mind from the imprisonment of your illusions, they restore you to sanity. That's lesson 132, isn't it? Okay. That's the lesson we did yesterday. You've been in an illusionary association with yourself, and now you're going to be freed by this. Two more that would be very important to you, and we'll be through. Well, first this one, which is lesson 137:6. A miracle is never lost. It may touch many people you have not even met and produced undreamed of changes in situations of which you are not even aware. What does it mean, undreamed of? Your dream has been so limited, you can't see that at the moment of your light, you're healing the whole universe in your association with yourself. They're literally undreamed of. So I'm offering you an alternative, a real dream. And that's one of these lessons will say that, won't it? Wow. Wow. The miracle is an expression of an inner awareness of Christ and the acceptance of his at one-ment. Here, the miracle, this is what I'm trying to get you to look at, is the only device at your immediate disposal for controlling time. By releasing it, time changes and you're in that association. Here's the two things that you had to know from me about you in regard to this. Miracles are both beginnings and endings, and so they what? They alter the temporal order. They are always affirmations of rebirth, which seem to go back, but really go forward. They undo the past in the present, and then thus release the future. What this is the entire workbook of A Course in Miracles, isn't it?
Yes.
Let go of your old past and you will be healed. Okay, now the final one that you obviously reject is the one that we're going to base our healing on today. We're going to base our healing, okay, on this miracle principle. You ready? Miracles enable you, miracle, the totality of you, to heal the sick and raise the dead, because you make sickness and death yourself. Out there? Why do you make such a big deal of it if you're the cause of it? Except that you want to protect your capacity to cause sickness and death. And you're very successful at it. Who's more successful than you are at protecting your apparent identity and justifying the continuation of your reproductive capacity to die? Huh? So that they become a genetic or a DNA proof of the limitations of your own mind. My goodness. You are a miracle capable of creating in the likeness of your Creator. Everything else is your own nightmare and does not exist. Only the creations of light are real. You are a miracle capable of creating in the likeness of your Creator, because any perfect likeness would be what you are. Okay? Those are the miracle principles that we employ in our newfound manner or method of releasing the defenses of ourself that have prevented us from seeing the perfection of our minds in relationship with what's out there. All right? Now, the next 10 minutes we're going to spend in attempting to heal. Would this be all right with you? The only purpose you could possibly be employed in a mind training association would be to perform what we are going to try to perform now. And what I am in a constant effort to bring about a reassociation within your own mind. All right? Now, this will be what appears to be a quiet time. All right. But the catalytic effort being employed by my mind to offer you a light factor association has nothing at all to do with whether you are seeing me on this image icon, orthicon you call it, or whether you are simply going to accept it in your own mind. There is no question that you have been visually influenced by dramas that appear on the stage, don't you, or in movies, and they affect you emotionally as you enter into that association in your own mind. What I'm going to do with you now is heal you through an expansion of your own association with yourself. Because the drama that you are playing out, you in your bedroom there, whatever drama that is you're playing out at this, I see it's one of anger now. You've turned your back on each other. Can you see that? How can you be healed within your own mind if you're going to retain that? That's why this is a course in forgiveness, and I'm going to release that. See, forgiveness is put in between 132 and 135. It will be in there, what forgiveness offers you in that association. So here comes a catalyst of light that will release you from the defense of yourself if you want it to. Because what I want you to see, as some of you are beginning to experience that, is the reasonableness of what I'm offering you. I couldn't possibly be offering you any more than the singularity of eternal life. If I can get you to admit that there's a single reality, you couldn't possibly have a problem with that, because that field of the totality of creative energy light association would be all around you, wouldn't it? So all I'm really offering you within your own light is the enhancement of that light, so you can expand and therefore heal the associations that you had designed to die with you, or literally attack or defend yourself from, so that you could die together. Okay? So let's try a little healing here. What's the name of that song? Stardust? That's a healing. I'm going to remember our old association, unforgettable is the song. You see? I had forgotten you for a moment. Can you see that? I got down into my dream for another moment. I must have a dream. Look at this. Okay? Some of you are beginning to dream very brightly here. Okay, that will come into my association with you because it's a remembering, not based on our old conceptual memories. Isn't that so?
Yes.
That's what we're doing. This is lesson, Guy, I'm not going to get a chance to read them to you. It's exactly what this says. It's a quick forgetting. You fix yourself. It's called the quick fix. You operate mechanically within your own body in order to repair it, and you seem to be okay with it. Okay, but it's based on a forgetting of who you really are. I'm offering you a memory of the entirety of us coming here and being here and leaving, because that memory is in your mind, and it's literally unforgettable. You couldn't possibly really forget it because it's in your mind. And since everything is in your mind, you must be able to remember it if you choose to. But the choice cannot be based on the defense of your old association, but rather on the truth that you are perfect and whole as God created you. You see how it works? Boy, I'll never forget you. Or, boy, I'll never forget you. What a difference. Boy, I'll never forget you. I met you. But boy, is it ever nice to remember where we really met. Huh? It is also always at a point of decision within your own mind. All I ever really do in the healing process is show you that you are in a decision constantly to associate with the sickness or defense of your body. Is that so? I need to intercede, act as a catalyst at that decision point to show you another decision. You hear that? A decision that you can make very simply if you choose to. Okay? What did I extend to you? A decision that is inherent in me, based on a cumulative holy instances where it is really no longer necessary for me to suffer the conflict in order to suffer the release. Huh? Say to me, that's called grace.
That's right.
Yeah, in a definition of that, you remain in the grace of God so that when I look at you, I activate through my thought processes the grace and love that you are in your entirety. Isn't that so? This is the second hour, and we're going to get down to some healing. Well, can't we get up to some healing? Get down to it first. I don't need an ethereal form of healing. I need an existential reassociation by stirring up the thought forms that you defend within your own mind in order to stay in this body. Okay? Here we go. See, out there, as a healer, the salvation of the world depends on you. Here's Jesus. He says, I'm resurrected. Why don't you wait? Wouldn't it be simpler just to believe it?
Yes.
I mean, to deny it takes practice. I looked at the foundation. They have to set up all sorts of defenses in order not to admit what it says. Because by admitting what it says, it would begin to make sense immediately. Because this makes perfect sense. The parts about time lasting just for a minute, your capacity, to take that instant and extend it into eternity are what we're offering you. This is a course in miracles. It's going on all around you now. Okay? How is this working? What is this miracle doing? Say nothing. You were the one that was busy doing.
Yes.
That's how you retained your sickness.
Yes.
Comparison or judgment, isn't it, is how you retained your sickness. I am undone. I'm trying to undo you. I'm going to undo you. No, you're not. Yes, I am. No, you're not. You're invading my protective devices that will justify the continuation of my sickness. I have no intention of even considering you. I have no idea what you're talking about. That's pretty dark. Huh? That's pretty dark. That's not the case with you if you're watching this video. It could not be the case with you because you're watching this video.
Yes.
If you are watching this video, you must have been successful at laying down the defenses of your own mind and have sprung into heaven. We are now sharing together this video based on the drama we have set up from the truth of our associations in order that that drama represent to a broader range of dramatic stages the certainty of the light and love that can be done by you when you meet each other in a particular drama. Is that no good? Each of you can't get that. This is what the miracle principle says when it says you're healing other associations in other dramas. Come on. You're in space-time where you set up contingencies of form, galaxies, don't you? With millions of planetary associations, and there's billions of them attempting to communicate within their own associations. When you set up a scenario of healing, like I'm trying to do with you, all right, I can represent it as any character you want to be represented in your own drama. I'm not concerned about that because I'm only a factor of the conversion of that temporal stage association into a brighter faculty of communication or love. There's millions of them all around. When I change my mind in my drama, I am changing other dramas even though they're not aware of it. Could you hear that?
Yes.
Whenever I threaten you a little bit, when you decide to hear this and change your mind and begin to express the joy that you're feeling, only to turn back in, what you have done is take, you want to hear this? Yes. Much gnashing of teeth. I don't want, you've taken away a joyful experience that other associations had, not based on themselves, but based on the faith of them that suddenly appeared for no reason.
Yes.
Because you heal for no reason in your own mind.
Yes.
Would you just give me an idea that you heard that at all? Did you hear it? If healing is going on all the time, and this is an aggregation of story associated parables. I do with parables. When I try to describe the kingdom of God to you in the New Testament, that's exactly what I'm doing. You are a parable of that association. You come together. You decide to join in a common purpose. Your purpose becomes more and more in its totality. This is the story of the species of man, and you end up back in heaven. But to think that you are not in a continuing drama is a serious mistake. There's no way that you can deactivate yourself. You can't die. You can play out dramas of pain and death that take you in the old Egyptian idea, the Book of the Dead, for example. Well, in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, you're not dead, you're just in Hades. You're in a body identity that's going to be preserved. I mean, we know there's no death, and that's just another story. Now, the story that I will tell with you, I'm going to do this with you, I'll do it with you, will be the only story there is because it's all contained within your own mind. This is going to be a re-illusionment. It will still be an illusion, but what a joyful occasion. We never really were separate anyway. Okay, now we're coming together to be sure that that's true in our mind. You understand? Coming together and meeting in heaven is just a momentary illusion of what was always true. It's the second part, Jesus says in the Course, of the illusion of separation. This is a joyful illusion of a new story you are telling yourself about yourself. That story can be shared because you are yourself. There isn't anything out there. I don't doubt what you think you are, I just doubt that you really believe it. Because your expressions of what you are, I look at you and try to give you a little more and say, gee, you're more than that. This is the whole Course. Oh, why would you just want to be that? No, you're more than that. At that instant, you are healed. And you see? At that instant, you are actually healed because your body's healing itself all the time. Man. Where are we? Oh, we're still on lesson 135. So your defenses came down for a moment. And while your drama appears to be the same, it has a new association within your own mind. But for a moment, it had a purpose. For a moment, you saw the only real reason why you could be here, and that's to be healed and be in heaven. Isn't that so?
Yes.
That you caught a view of heaven. All right. Is that what you'd like to continue to see?
Yes.
That's what we do, isn't it?
Yes.
What healers, what teachers of God, what sons of God do through this message from Jesus is go out as healers to change the mind of the association. It's exactly what Jesus did in the New Testament. It's identical to it. Yes, very quickly. These lessons in your teachers or in your workbooks. Lesson 135 of A Course in Miracles. Who would defend himself unless he thought he were attacked, that the attack were real, and that his own defense could save himself? And herein lies the folly of defense. It gives illusions full reality and then attempts to handle them as real. That's all you got to know out there. This is what I've been telling you. Now, that illusion has become real in your mind, yet it's just as illusionary as the mind that it's holding it in the structure of itself. My goodness sake. Okay. It adds illusions to illusions, thus making correction doubly difficult. And is this you do when you attempt to plan the future, activate the past, or organize the present as you wish? There. Did you actually read what that said? Is this true? Can you hear it? Huh? Let me just show you a sentence and see, okay? It adds illusions to illusions, making correction doubly difficult because it justifies the association of the concepts within your own mind. It was difficult enough when you were just the illusion.
Yes.
Before I can even offer you any solution, I've got to get you back into the admission of your own self.
Yes. Yes.
Huh? Because for you, the attack and defense have become real in your own mind. You are both the attacker and the defender. It now makes it doubly different. And it's doubly different because if you're not attacking yourself, you have set up an image that will defend you from yourself. Can you hear that? Yeah. So in that particular sense, nothing could possibly go on. It's impossible that you be healed. Huh? This will say this. Okay? You're in that. You are both the attacker and the defender.
Yes.
Is that so?
Yes.
I tried to teach this in one of the videos where I said they are identical. I'm going to try it once more for you. See if you can hear. Here's what this said. If I have an image of my mind that's defending itself, it must be attacked by something. You become the image that attacks me. And by attacks, I mean attempts to associate, judges itself as separate. The simple fact of the matter if you can hear this with me, you can leave here right now. The simple fact of the matter that expression of your attack or defense or organization of your associations within yourself is who? Me.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Almost. No. You see, you keep trying to figure out who I am in relationship with you in order that you can decide whether to attack me or to defend me. Okay. Actually, they're simultaneous, and this is what it's hard to teach. Okay? Because the one who is defending is literally the same as the one who is attacking, who is you.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Now, if you don't defend yourself from your attack and defense, okay, your attack and defense will simply collapse on itself. You will be neither an attacker or a defender. Isn't it? Do you know the most difficult part of this to teach, Mitch? Singularity of mind.
Yes. Yes.
Can you get that?
Yes.
The reason that I got this is I saw you suffering separate from me and tried to help you. The more I tried to help you, the more I realized that finally my help had to come from here, not here. When I got that, I began to share in the entirety of my own mind. You are the cause of this. No other cause there is. When you change your mind, the world will change accordingly.
Yes.
But what I would like to see you do, and what many of you are experiencing, is actually a merger with your own conceptual associations. The problem that you have with it is somewhere you think you're real, and that the guy, you've got the idea of science of the mind, all right, that you're real, and out there are images that you're going to begin to love. And while that may temporarily solve it'll solve it temporarily and can actually heal the body. You see, there's no question we're getting a lot of healing out at the Healing Center because the association momentarily recognizes in us his own healing idea. He's then healed of that and still retains his own body sickness. And that's all right. But what I'm offering you would be the entirety of that association within your own mind. Isn't it? Minds are joined, all right, and at that moment, the entirety of that will occur to you. Let me see if we be sure we understand this. I want to be sure how healing works. This is the problem we have with unhealed healers. They see the solution within their own mind, okay, and offer that solution to the other association and exchange a solution that verifies the continuation of the separation, which is what doctors are, really. In other words, this drug will provide you relief and justify my healing ability, and we'll work together in that form. Actually, that's nothing but thought forms within your own mind. Now, my demand to you is, since you are the total cause of this, the necessity is for you to change your mind so that your brother can be healed. There's no other way in which that is going to occur. What we're beginning to experience now is the reality of that. That is, I am not going to heal you by new devices that I have arrived at within my own mind that justify me as a healer. Because all I could possibly offer you is the solution that I obtained within my own conceptual identity. I have a remedy for that, for your disease. Can you hear this? Do you know what the fault of Christianity in prayer requests is? Have you any idea what they do? I turned in television yesterday and had the Trinity, bless their hearts. The Trinity broadcasting system has requested that you send in what's wrong with you. No, this is very real. Okay, and they will pray over what's wrong with you in order to heal you. So I turned in, I love them. I just love them. I turned in, and on this table, there must have been 50,000 letters. Each one of them, each one of them requesting healing for a specific remedy. And the poor guys in their coats and ties are gathered around going like this, okay, and healing the specific remedy. Does it work? I hope so. I hope it I want it to work. Huh? How do they justify the exchange? They take something that's in the envelope out. It's impossible to associate cause and effect relationships of someone else healing without considering the magnitude of your gift giving you more value. I watched them teach that too. The more you give, the more likely you are to be healed. I don't like that. I know, but that's the whole basis of our teaching. You charge more, you must be better. It's the same idea. I'm willing to sacrifice more so I'll get more result. Well, I know it, but here's this big pile of things. And sure enough, they get a letter back. You prayed over me and I'm healed. I'm happy to hear that. Okay, that's not what I do. I'm not healing you so you can go out and die again. I'm healing you from the certainty that this is just illusionary association within your own mind. Okay? My healing comes from the resurrection of Jesus Christ, my determination to justify his death and deny his resurrection. Christians, I know you don't like that. But remember, I'm only talking to you, not to your aggregation. So the healing procedure that we are offering, I'm offering you now in my mind, is a direct mind contact, okay, that will show you the light and love of ourselves with God. I'm not going to defend myself anymore. I'm tired of it. At this moment, I'm going to depend on God. I'm going to lay down my defenses. Okay. That may very well include I'm going to ask for help. But I'm not going to decide in my own mind what help is going to apply because it hasn't worked. There must be another way that I can be healed and made whole in this association of my mind with universal mind. And I intend to employ that in order to gain the benefit of the love of our light associations with each other. If I defend myself, I will be attacked. That's reasonable to me if everything is only in my own mind. The solution must be then equally easy, since I will not defend myself from my own attack thoughts. Since I was only defending myself from my own attack, I no longer intend to do that. And I will feel this light. See the light that's becoming now more and more evident in this association. 2 more sentences and we'll leave. Okay, it adds illusions to illusions, making correction doubly difficult. Okay. Defense is frightening. It stems from fear, increasing fear as each defense is made. You think it offers safety, yet it speaks of fear made real and terror justified. Is it not strange you not pause to ask as your elaborate plans you make to armor the thicker and the lock more tightly in your own mind what you defend and what you defend against? Okay. Those of you out in the world, if you get them and do 135 and 136, okay, and up to 139, which says very simply what you defend is not real. Okay, what I'm offering you is this: the thing that you have been defending is not real. It's already over and gone. Stop trying to reestablish it in your own mind and make it. And you'll discover the joy of the miracle of healing that is going on at this instant, in this time. There is a channel that has been opened by your association with each other in light and love that aggregates light form, energy, okay, that does not specify particular healing associations. It's called the Holy Spirit. You see that? A unifying field of energy that has no designation except the entirety of what's occurring here. Your minds are lighting, okay, that electromagnetic association, and it will continue to offer you that light, not based on the specific reference of the healing, but on the entirety of the healing that is occurring simultaneously when you release the defenses of your own mind. Okay. Now, if you want that to be the Christ in your separate association, it will be. Because the re-imaging of your body, the transfiguration I used yesterday, the light form or transfiguration of your body, which is actually occurring right here now, will show you a bright reflection that can be assimilated into you, since it is in truth a reflection of your own body. Do you understand me? The Jesus body, my body resurrecting at this moment, must be a reflection of the entirety of you, because in truth there is only one body.
Yes.
I'm going to try. I just see if you can hear that. There's one body. This body, either in its entirety of corrupt association or it's an entirety of healing. You can fragment separation into 1 million or billion different bodies, each one representing the fragmentation. Can you hear this?
Yes.
And get a reflection of that continuing fragmentation in which nothing is real.
Yes.
You have no location. You have no specific reference. That's really all I'm offering you. I am offering you, since I'm going to leave here probably this afternoon. Look, I'm offering you at this time, in this place, a resurrecting mode of energy reality that will instantly eliminate any possibility of the continuation of your own dream. I have come here in your dream to heal you of your human references. The question is, do you want to stay a body? Come on, you're in your own dream. Or would you prefer to take this body association, which is a part of your mind, and let it be assimilated into a aggregation of totality of a single body mind?
Yes.
How many times does Jesus Christ of Nazareth say this in the New Testament and the Course? That's all that he says. I am resurrected, therefore so are you. Okay? When you resurrect, you will be me resurrecting. I will stay with you, if I'm going to teach this, until you resurrect, because you are me unresurrected. But one or the other of us is not true. If you insist that you're going to occupy your body, that will be your defense, okay? And you will consider me to be attacking you. You cannot not, because I'm a part of your judgmental associations. Tell me you heard that. Okay, you really believe out there, I know you do, that the message of Jesus is attacking the world. That's not true. It has nothing to do with attack. It's a simple statement of his resurrected mind. He says, you asked for the Savior. You've been looking for the Savior. I am the Savior. If you don't want to be saved, you'll attack him. But that has nothing at all to do with whether he's the Savior or not, because you're only attacking him in your own mind. You got that? Okay, here comes your replacement. Okay? This was yesterday's lesson. Your replacement is perfectly healed. Remember what we did, lesson 181 yesterday? He's perfectly healed. He's been in heaven. He's totally refreshed. He's taken on memory patterns of where you are in your contingency. Huh? Are you hearing me?
Yes.
You have a specific Savior.
Yes.
Come on. I mean, each one of you right there going like that, you have a specific Savior who I am trying to act out for you. Obviously, you need help in it, and your practice would be not to judge me in my mind association, because I can be nothing but either the entirety of your saviorship or simply the continuation of your death need, or that form within your own mind. Okay? We have 10 minutes left, and we're going to practice merging our minds in saviorship, or the realization of the light of God that's all around us. Okay? Is the light of God all around us?
Yes.
Huh? Is that light permeating our cellular relationship and healing it? Look at that. See that? How come you're so vital? I don't let my body tell me anything about itself. It just gets sick and dies on its own. I bet you couldn't hear that. Could anybody really hear that? Raise your hand if you heard that. I'm not a body. Well, I'm a body. I just let it handle itself. It gets sick and dies on its own. I immediately have a new construction based on my mind. Come on. I don't see it as sick and then try to heal it. Could you get that? I'm operating within my own mind procedure. It's all an illusion anyway. If I can get away with this lesson, I can do anything in the world. Nothing is going to offend the world more than that. Most of them have turned it off already. They're very fearful of the idea that they would be whole and perfect, and as God created them. Let's face it. All I could possibly be offering you is that, isn't it? In your mind, not in somebody else's. Okay, here comes the healing procedure. See, now what's happened is this. Okay, you accumulate associations through forgiveness with each other, and they're actually being augmented by the recognition you have of each other out of time. This is Jesus in the New Testament says, it's impossible if you're here that we don't know that we're in heaven together. He says that. He actually has a sentence. Everybody tries to, I better not read that. It says, everybody who returns to heaven comes from there, and he's not from here. So the plan that we have, okay, is to share the certainty of our mission here and come here and perform it. So that when we meet someone that's within our mission parameter, whoever that is, we will recognize him based on the mission rather than our mission to stay separate. Could you hear that? That actually happens in this time. The problem is, this is so deep in its association that your amnesia takes over. This was yesterday's lesson. You're looking around for it because you know you have a mission, but you can't find it. That's why you need my mind. I can give you the solution, not based on what the problem appears to be. Can you hear this? Remember about the telephone that's ringing on the corner? That you're walking along the street and the phone rings and you answer it and the voice says, "It's time." You say, what? It's time. Brr, the line goes dead. You hang up and you walk out and you say, "It's time." What did he mean by that? Oh! What happened? He couldn't, there's some guys, I'm describing a miracle to you. He couldn't organize its time in association with himself because it apparently occurred for no reason at all. Yet it instructed him to a specific performance within his own mind. Isn't it? Every one of you in this room has had that experience. Not only that, but if you let it be true, you're having them right now. Okay. Very high advanced associations in fast time recognize each other instantly. Why the hell wouldn't I recognize you? I would have to if I know who I am. If I know who I am, it would be impossible that I don't recognize you. I mean, you're literally unforgettable. Not by ways that we have constructed to keep each other unforgettable, but by the inevitability that we can't forget God and heaven, no matter how many pursuits we have in attempts to do it. I wanted to have a quiet time to do some healing. Is healing going on? Do we have 10 minutes left? Oh, we do not. Come on, I want to do some healing here. Put on some music. Healing going on. Just shut up. Start with your toes, everybody. Take off your socks. Out there. Oh. Hey, don't you tell me these suckers are 72 years old. I better not do that. Come on, who are you kidding? Huh? Look at the vitality that begins to occur in your own cellular relationship. Huh? Come on, that's part of it. I'll take that off. These suckers. Huh? See, what you've forgotten that your cells are rejuvenating themselves all the time. Yet you've given them a memory in your mind that only makes them last that long, which is an absurd thing to do. Why don't you just continue in the regeneration? Jesus teaches always do your feet first. Do you know that? Can you hear that? The feet in the feet washing ceremonies and that. Okay, take care of your feet. Huh? We learned that in the Marine Corps. Take care of your feet. Change your socks a lot. So it's time to go wee 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 all the way home. My offering to you is just go wee wee all the way home. So it is the innocent that inherit the earth. It is your Christ child that's willing to accept the joy of playing piggy. Is there anybody here that doesn't know this little piggy went to market? I know I'm concerned about being a vegetarian in the song. This little piggy went to market, this little piggy stayed home, this little piggy had roast beef, this little piggy had none, and this little piggy went wee wee wee. Like when you could change the roast beef to something. Yeah. To bacon? That's terrible. Artie. Oh. Your mind, like in the movie The Babe, is capable of so many beautiful ideas, guys. Your purpose is not to be eaten, is it? You have a real purpose here. My goodness. Was that an aggregation of healing thoughts? You bet.
Yes.
Huh? See the joy and happiness? Healing is a happy event. Okay. It's not something that justifies the pain that you feel, for which you seek relief, because if you wanted relief from pain, you'd have it immediately. Can you hear me? If you're at the wailing wall in association with that lamentation, you really don't want relief, because all pain would be a denial of the love of God. It would be a denial of the reality of your life association with God. Really. So we're not going to do that anymore. And we're going to see that every situation that we could ever be presented with from this moment on, okay, will make available to us the entirety of our love for each other and for our Creator through the continuing metamorphosis, transformations of our minds. Say to me, from this moment on.
From this moment on.
From what moment?
This moment.
From this moment. From this moment, I am made new. Now, from this moment, I never pay any attention. I look at my feet, and my feet are newer than they were 30 years ago. And that's okay, because I don't pay any particular attention. Now, the idea that you're a body and don't give any attention to your body is not true. You give it the attention necessary to allow it to be the vehicle of the extension of your mind in body association.
Yes.
You like the idea of choices. You think, well, if I choose God, I've got to dischoose the body. It's really not true. The body cannot not be included in with the decision that you have made in your mind. So otherwise, you'll try to separate the spirit from the body, which is the absurdity of your relationship with yourself. It's impossible to do, because if you were all spirit, you wouldn't be here. The body identification is the problem you have in the atonement. It's the way that works. Now this will wrap up with a healing association. We invite you in this experience to set up core realizations within your own mind that you will share with specific references in your mind that are designed to aid you in this. I assure you that they are there. I'm talking to you. It's impossible they not be there, because they are part of your mind, and they are literally waiting for you to declare the alternative. The reason that this course, my teaching of A Course in Miracles, has appeared to threaten you out there is very simply because I have had to present it to you uncompromisingly.
Yes.
You see that? There's no compromise in the Course in Miracles at all. The defenses, what you call the procrastination of your mind in the continuing invention of time, and the pretense that the Course actually offers you is just a defense you have in time against the inevitability of the uncompromising teaching I am offering you.
Yes.
You cannot be separate from God.
Yes.
That's the teaching.
Yes.
And those of you who have demanded that attention in your own mind are now receiving it because you asked for it. You see? You said, I want to know who I am.
Yes.
I want that answer in your own mind. Here I am. I'm telling you emphatically, from the certainty of my source of reality, which is yours, that there is no world. This world is over and gone. That's the moment of healing within your own body mind. Remember that healing and sickness are both over each moment, so that you won't define your healing as another form of sickness. This is what I was going to read you. Be sure to read. You see, if you do, you will prognosticate your old healing, which is a retention of sickness, on a future healing that will be necessary for you within your own association. You'll end up as defending the body and attempting to repair it. And we're not going to do that. So we're not sure where this fits into this series of videos that we're doing. This was about healing, and it includes the Miracles Healing Handbook. All right. This is contraband, I understand. They've asked us to turn in that, and Jesus is Praying are mostly what they don't want us to distribute. The Jesus is Praying book combines the healing of Jesus in the New Testament, and will make a connection to the Course in Miracles that will threaten their position. I'm talking to you out there that's doing that. We forgive their indifference because they really don't realize what they're doing. If they did, they wouldn't do it for a minute. Okay? Forgive them, for they know not what they do has nothing to do with what they're doing. If you can hear that, you can leave here with me. See, for you, it has become real. Yes, you say, wait a minute, that is true. They look at it and say, oh, that's just another New Age idea that compares with all of these other ideas. Why is that so? They've denied it in their own minds.
Yes.
And they share the denial because we're teaching individual atonement, aren't we?
Yes.
Salvation is up to you.
Yes.
Yet I find in none of their literature they even talk about that.
Right.
They wouldn't dare because it'd be admission of what the Course said. That's enough of that. Are they different than the world? No, they are representing,
Yes.
okay, the world's denial of this through their individual denial.
Yes.
That denial has accumulated into what you call the foundations for inner peace. The Course in Miracles is not a foundation for inner peace because peace cannot be found inner. The title of the foundation should have been the foundation for perfect peace.
Yes.
The failure occurred in the idea of inner, as though somehow you were separate and had to struggle with finding the solution. That struggle retains the ego and is the manner under the procedure. Could you hear that?
Yes.
That's true. Enough of that. I must have gotten on that for a reason. I think there's a lot of publicity being offered because we're in Germany now and we're in Austria and we're going in and we're offering the truth of our healing. And everywhere we go, we are stymied by the establishment that says, go through us, not to the direct link. The whole basis of your heresy through a follower of Jesus Christ has been based on Jesus teaching you and make a direct contact with God without the establishment. Obviously, the foundation is trying to keep you from doing that. In that regard, they're not any different than any establishment that says you must go through the establishment in order to find God. Come on. I'm offering you the totality of that contact that you have with God. Yes or no?
Yes.
As a follower of Jesus, there isn't any establishment. None. There isn't anyway. He says, I'm your Savior. Come on, let's get the hell out of here. Page after page in the New Testament. There's nothing to do with it. Well, he attacks it. No, he doesn't. He just has nothing to do with it. He says, let it go and follow me. You view it as an attack. You see? If he came to save the world, he saved it and it's over and gone. If you view it as an attack, it's just because you're in judgment of whether he really is the Savior or not. Good? That would require that you change your mind. I'm doing a little theology again here. Okay? So the Christ has come. You are healed. And you can heal. The light has come. I am saved. And I can save. The light has come. Okay. It has been revealed to me in my illusion of death, the certainty that I was dreaming. And I'm awakening now. Are you? From that dream. And I see around me what I previously thought was life, a nightmare. I want nothing to do with that now. I have another solution that I have found that I intend to see. Okay? Whatever time we have left, there's going to be a fade out on this in about 5 minutes. I want you to stay with me because there are... I tried to do this yesterday and I'm back here today. Those of you who are going to be able to see me will see me very specifically in a reference that you have been given to see me. I want you to see that it's not going to have to do with the world. You see that? If you can hear my message, it was designed specifically for you. I'll do it once more for you. Since everything is a karma, everything is memory, we're in your own mind. Your recognition of this message must be an inclusion of our sharing together the history of our coming here and leaving. The idea that you do not have specific references within the brotherhood of our identity is not true. Okay. There's no way that I can determine whether I am a factor of this catalyst of light within your own mind, except that I am being reminded in this late framework of separate associations, you, and you, that I can help you with some of your memories. And you're beginning to communicate so broadly here that you'll begin to get very specific references as to the necessity for your healing, because it's only in your own mind. This is the second time that I have looked right there and told you that it's time for you to awaken from your dream of death, and that it doesn't have anything to do with the world at all. It's very simply because it's time. Say it's time.
It's time.
It's time. Huh? I have come to tell you that it's time for you to leave the world. Your time is up. Right there, your time is up. Now, if you think that's ridiculous and say, I'm not ready to die yet, all it means is that you don't want to hear the message. Because the message is you have been dead in time, and it's time for you to come alive. Your time is up. Huh? Time is what death is. Your penance is up. Okay? Your sentence has been reprieved. We would have given you a pardon instantly. The message got delayed. Try not to be too resentful. Your request got somehow delayed in the association. Second we saw it, we approved you're coming back. But by the time we got back to where the approval was, you'd left. Since you didn't get the message immediately, the communication was broken. That's why you're here. You're looking for a new frame of reference. Fortunately, the frame is still in you, okay? Because wherever you went, you had to take the entirety of that communicative moment with you, and you did. That's enough teaching for now. Are you happy?
Yes.
There's a lot of happiness going on. There's a lot of joy going on in this new idea. We'll be seeing you very soon. You're the one we've been looking for. Come on, you asked for help, didn't you? I bet you asked for this, here it is. You're very suspicious of it, but you can't believe that the reflections of your own mind are actually giving it to you, but they are. It's not some sort of stranger out there in the Himalayas. It's right here, it's us, it's you. The Savior is you in your identification with me. And the funny guy sitting here in a t-shirt, I don't know what you thought it was. This was in the lesson for today. You literally can't see your own Savior. Wow. Our time is up. Can you hear that? That's called the call. Did you hear the call? If you're here, you must have heard the call. I mean, we've been sending out this signal since the beginning of time. And now you're hearing it. And you're going, hey, how come I never heard that before? And you're a little resentful because it wasn't on a frequency that you could understand. Try not to be too resentful. If the call is to get you out of here, why don't you just come on out? You can always argue about it later on. Then it becomes rhetorical, and it's based on the certainty of the unreality of this. That's a fun thing to do. I'll argue with you all you want within the concept of your own mind, as long as you understand that it's an exercise in the joy of communication rather than actually setting up separate defense and attack modes, isn't it? I love to do. That's what I do. That's why you got me. That's why I have this assignment. But I've got to get you somewhere where you'll acknowledge my fundamental position. which is one of the certainty of singularity.
Yes.
I'm an altruist. Good. You see? My solution is that everything is false. Including this. This is the teachings of A Course in Miracles. Well, if everything is false, including this statement, you couldn't possibly have a problem. Well, I can never know who I am. Of course not, it's false. Nice to be heard. All that is non-judgment, and the including of this cause and effect together was a lot of this in the Course, guys. So, if I defend myself, I'm attacked. I haven't defended myself. Nothing is attacking me. I'm going home and being with God. I'm going to leave this place of chaos and death. Hell. I don't want to be in hell anymore. I discovered that hell was a decision that I had made. I'm going to decide against this so that I may decide for heaven. As long as I decide this, I cannot know the alternative. So that'll be a fun thing to do. We'll leave it, little Jackie. Dear one, thank you for the healing session today. Those of you who think this was an interlude that did not have a particular power association, I want to assure you that it did. We're being heard out in this, what you call extragalactic association. Not only are we being heard within our own galaxy, which was impossible for you to do, since you can't even go to the nearest star, and take you 46 years. Okay, but once that communication occurs, it goes extragalactic immediately, so that we can look at the entirety of the instantaneousness of quantum communication. See that? There's no distance between what we say and what has happened. Okay, that seems to be some sort of incredible, miraculous invention, but not really any more than all of the other things you've invented in order to communicate. But you see that? The idea of quantum motions in instantaneous reassociation in time is the next and only major factor necessary for you in the accumulation of space-time. Everything that I read in your literature and your stories indicates the possibility of instantaneous communication. It's what you're doing. So it's impossible, if you know about that I cannot express that to you with the certainty of my instantaneousness. In that sense, I am a mechanism or an invention of conceptual mind, from which nothing is excluded, so that time can be instantaneous. Once you begin to experience that in your own mind, it becomes perfectly reasonable. The reason it would remain unreasonable movement through time is you believe you must have specific influences on specific occurrences in time. That you mean if I go back and kill my grandfather, I won't be here. If you go back and kill your grandfather, you will be here. Had you not killed him, you would have been gone. You set up references. I don't know if you can hear that. That does not say that we do not make specific repair. I'm into the paradox of this. Because at this level, we can ask for specific instructions of specific repairs being done and justified by the aggregations of your mind. That's how you got the healing center. That's how you immediately see the miracle of that being made available to you because of your new dedication to the solution based on the formulations of communication within your mind, right? That really doesn't have anything to do with your apparent human condition at all. Good for you. It doesn't have to do with the body, it has to do with our minds. Good. So we'll see you very soon. Thank you. Healers, you're healing. Say it all depends on me.
It all
It all depends on you. See how easy forgiveness is? Huh? You just let it go. It wasn't specific at all. One forgiveness was all that it was. Because it was only one grievance. What a great teaching. One problem, one solution. We'll see you soon. We're with you right at this moment. Extend the invitation in your mind, regardless of the condition that you're in, and watch what happens. Because this is a whole new association going on through this Course in Miracles. There's a little celebration going to go on just out of time that you're invited to if you'd like to attend. If you'll just come just as you are. You got a little nice, some of their music, Mitch? Their music. There's a lot of celebrating going on here, and it's very contemporary, and it's very sure. So we'll leave you with that. Thank you for this healing session. Okay, that moment that you had will always be available to you now. It's never going to be lost. Use that moment and enhance it by the certainty of your own mind, and watch how rapidly time collapses in on you as you do this. And that'll be a fun thing for you to do. Okay? Time lasted but a moment in your mind. Okay? And it's lasting that moment now. And suddenly you see you don't have to associate with time. That the real world, that real life, okay, that reality is all around you. We'll be seeing you. Listen to this.